ACD, Lokaita, and all the law and order and various across the state. When I requested Uddham Saab to give a special talk on this, he happily agreed, come down here to share, interact. I'm really very happy. I take this opportunity on behalf of the academy, on behalf of all my friends and my personal behalf, I heartily welcome to this academy, sir. I request Mr. Navneet to hand over the bouquet to you. So one more thing I would happy to share that is we have a lot of young experienced faculty members, who are the main pillars. So all this little introduction, I request you to interact on prevention of money laundering. Right? I request you feel free, whatever people say that you have the post money. You have a lot of experience. I'm sure it will be very much useful for your exams. Okay. Again, I'm welcoming you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I request you to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for the brief introduction, and good morning to all of you. I hope you are all comfortable with English and little bit of Kannada. Fantastic. So, since Dr. Vishwanath sir has already introduced, he is a very senior man. He himself is a trainer who has worked in Karnataka Administrative Training Center for a very long time, and I am associated with your president of this institute from almost 1 year or so, and we used to often interact about the trainings and things like that, about academicians and all. So this is one opportunity which has given to me by him. I thank him for calling me here, and hope I'll be able to do justice to this class of almost 2 hours. Okay, and since whatever I'm going to talk to you, it's mostly of practically what I have experienced. It is not going to be a theoretical class, and the subject is of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, but it will also be covering some aspect of FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, where you can expect some questions on that also, and a little bit of Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, that is 2018. Why I am covering all these 3 acts in one session is, you don't have to take extra class for FEMA and Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. This act, what you see, you are going to study today, this basically 3 acts: Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, and Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. These are the most powerful acts which have been ever enacted by the country and executed also very effectively. As you are all aware that recently there is so much of news in the media, so many CM, Jharkhand CM was arrested, then you might have also heard about Delhi CM was arrested. I don't take their names, but all this is possible only when the act is powerful and it is also implemented very powerfully. Today, with my own experience of 3 decades, if any politician or any corrupt or any criminal is afraid of any law, it is only basically Prevention of Money Laundering Act. What happens in Prevention of Money Laundering Act is basically, it is not the act which will just you do some procedures of arrest and produce it before the court. It goes one step ahead, attaches all the properties held in the name of the criminals. So what used to happen in a criminal crime, suppose somebody is involved in a cheating, or somebody is involved in a murder for gain, or somebody is involved in some extortion, or rowdyism, or arms and ammunition steal. They used to be generally arrested by the local police, produce them before the court, and what he used to do is, he used to engage one of the best advocate, hiring the best advocate, buying huge hefty fees, and he used to come out on bail and start his trade or business or rowdy elements or whatever activities used to be in a big go. So there was no fear for him. Even it is happening even today. If somebody is engaged in corruption, he'll do a corruption of 200, 300, 500 crores. And what he will do, he'll be caught by the Anti-Corruption Bureau. Like you say, in Karnataka, it is Karnataka Lokayukta. Or if you say it is central, he is a central employee, he'll be caught by CBI. Once he is caught and produced before the court, he engages the best advocates. Some of the few names, Nana Palkiwala, then what you call Ram Jetmalani, all these advocates, they are available. If you pay them 1 or 2 crores, they will somehow manage to get him out on bail. And again, next day, start the same activities. But the need for this PML Act started when, when the criminals started coming out from the jail and started doing the same business. How to stop this? It was a big challenge. To go a little bit background about this case, about the study that I am going to take today. Okay. So what we are going to do is, we are going to cover this whole class in this aspect. This is my agenda today. First, I will speak about the department, Directorate of Enforcement. Okay. Then we will understand what is the genesis of money laundering. Why at all this act came. You should always study in such a, when you are preparing for a UPSC or whatever exam you want to prepare, or whenever you want to do some business or any activity, you should understand the purpose, why you want to do it, and the genesis. If you don't have a purpose, then it's of no use. So, what is the need or the purpose of this act, we should understand. Why this act at all was brought into force. Why was the need of this act? When we have so many laws already, we always talk, ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕಾನೂನುಗಳಿದಾವೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಹೊಸ ಕಾನೂನು ಯಾಕೆ ತಂದ್ರು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್, ದೆನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ದೆನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್. ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್. ದೆನ್ ನೀಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಲಾಸ್, ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಆಗಲೇ, ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ನೀಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ laws, because we already had IPC, CRPC, Evidence Act, so many Prevention of Corruption Act, so many laws were already existing. But what is the need of this particular law and what forced us to bring this law? We'll understand that. Then the objective of PMLA. Then we'll discuss in brief about the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Since you're preparing for UPSC or competitive exams, you should know this act, because definitely there will be 1 or 2 questions asked on this Prevention of Money Laundering Act, because it is the act which is always in use today. Then I'll briefly touch upon the Foreign Exchange Management Act, which was replaced by FERA. Earlier we had Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, that was removed, and why this act came into force, I'll understand the genesis of that and try to explain you. Then Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. If you see these acts, 2002, 1999 and 2018, these are all recent acts, the last 2 or 3 decades. Then I will also touch a brief on Hawala transactions, and we'll discuss 1 or 2 case studies to make this session a little more interesting. Is that okay? This is the agenda that we are planning to take for today. So, with this we'll start one by one. So, basically, Directorate of Enforcement. What is the Directorate of Enforcement? It is a department in Ministry of Finance and Department of Revenue. Okay. Many people mistake. When I was on deputation to ED, when I went from Karnataka State Police, I was DYSP in 2017. When I applied for ED, when I went there, I realized that it doesn't come under police force at all. The rules are different. Then I am not a cop there. Then I am an assistant director. And the area of work is also totally different. See, what makes difference between other department and police, so whatever statements and arrest we make, the court will not trust that. Whereas when the other department, for example, you take Central Excise and Customs, you take ED, you take Income Tax, whatever statements you record before them is admissible in the court of law. Whereas in police, whatever statement we record from the accused or from the witnesses is not of a statement accepted by the court. They will further call them, record the witness statement, and when the court is convinced, they take give a judgment. So here This was the Ministry of Finance and Department of Revenue. You should understand, if anybody asks you which department does this ED belong to, you cannot say police, because it generally police are the forefront. You should not say it belongs to Home Ministry or Department of Police. You should always say it belongs to Ministry of Finance and Department of Revenue. Then, what was the primary objective of this ED? When this department was formed, what was the primary objective? It was formed in 1956. Its primary objective was to enact and execute these three laws. One is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, and Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. These are the three acts which were to be executed by the Directorate of Enforcement. This can be asked for you, like which are the acts which are likely to be executed by ED. So this is about brief background about the ED. Now let us understand the genesis. See, as I already told you, there are a lot of laws which are already existing with us. And why at all this new act was required or new laws was required is, if you understand this background of this particular PML Act, you might have heard of one great Albert Clapon, who was a famous, what you call, underworld don in America. Okay, he was into lot of illegal activities. He was into drug peddling, he was into terrorist activities, he was dealing in arms and ammunitions, he was into mafia. It was a big mafia. He was having a turnover of this man was having a turnover of nearly around 1.5 million, where in the early 90s, okay. So he was almost like a parallel economy to the America. So how to curb him? How to stop him? Because there was no such stringent law which could put him behind bars and not allow him to enter into these activities. So the Americans felt that was the need to bring such a stringent law so that we could stop the activities of criminality, like terrorist activities, arms and ammunition deal, and drug peddling. See, drug peddling is one aspect which is the most dangerous and most hazardous crime. You may say, what happens by drugs? Somebody is enjoying drugs, let him have it. But how it is going to affect the country? It does affect the country. I'll tell you how. See, if the drug peddling becomes more, and in schools, colleges, institutions, if drugs are available so easily, what you can expect from the children? Everybody wants to try it once or twice. In Bangalore also, there are a lot of schools and colleges where drugs are easily available to the children. Recently, you might have read in the newspaper, drugs are being sold in medical stores. So, if this is the state of affairs of this country, then what happens to the young generation that are going to come out? I was just talking to one of your staff here. In Manipur, the issue is not about law and order. In Manipur, the issue is about drugs. In Manipur, the issue is about arms and ammunitions. Because every poor man who can't even afford 2 times food is able to get drugs. He is able to get AK-47. How is that possible? And what happens to the country? If every person is having arms and ammunition, if he is drug peddling, then what happened in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal will happen to our country also. So, it is to be thought in a very big way. For example, see, money laundering aspect was introduced basically to see that this country's financial condition is also safe and the sovereignty and integrity of this country also is safe. He asked, it is just a financial crime. How it is going to affect the sovereignty, supremacy of this country? You may ask, how it is going to affect the integrity of this country? It is definitely, when you understand, since I have seen ED, CBI, local police, I see this act has to be enacted still more powerfully and still more effectively. Only then we will be able to have a clean or a better country to go ahead with financially. Let us understand, one is financial, effect is already there. Like, if somebody is making money by corruption, if somebody is making money by drug peddling, if somebody is making money by arms and ammunition deal, if somebody is making money by prostitution, if somebody is making money by some other way of cheating, scams, then that man will become rich and the rest of the society becomes poor. Do you agree with this? Today, 10% of the population in India are having equal to 90% of the wealth of the other 90% of the people. Why is that disparity is there? Because of corruption, because of what you call some sort of focus towards one particular type of people and basically politicians. So how to curb this was the need. And another reason why this PML Act was brought into force is, see, if I am going to invest in some real estate, I'll take a small example. If I'm going to buy a site in some, say from person like one developer, I will definitely understand his background. Do you agree or not? You have a hard earned money of say 50 lakh rupees, and you're going to buy a site from one particular real estate. You'll understand his background. You'll understand where all he has developed, whether he's able to deliver the sites or not, whether his quality of work is good or do you understand that or no? So similarly, if somebody wants to invest money in our country, suppose Germans, France, Italy, USA, if they have to come and invest in our country, they will definitely understand the status of this country, whether this country is safe, whether whatever investment they are going to make in this country will be safeguarded, or whether there is lot of law and order problem, whether rowdyism is such that somebody will come and ransack the whole building and take away all the equipments. So they will think about it. Only then they will invest. I have given an example of when you are investing into a small company or a real estate, or when the other countries want to invest in India. I'll ask you one question. Whether anybody will go and invest, say, 5,000 crores in Pakistan today. Why? Terrorism. There is no return on your investment, no guarantee that you're going to come back, get back that 5,000 crores also. You may end up going there 5,000 crores and you may end up even, life of your employees who are working there. So nobody will do that. So this PML Act, when what was asked, our country was asked to implement this PML Act, the other countries, basically 7 major developed countries, Germany, USA, Italy, France and Japan, they said you have to execute this PML Act in this particular way. Only then we will be able to enter an agreement with your country for investment. Because they did not believe IPC, they did not believe CRPC. Now it is BNSS and BNS and Bharatiya Sakshi Nigam, Indian Evidence Act and Replace. They did not believe in this because you already have these laws, but it's not effective enough. You have not been able to counter terrorism. You have not been able to counter drug trafficking. So this one particular act is more like a draconian law. This is so effective. If at all anybody is scared in this country of any act, it is only the PML Act. Any politician for him, it's a nightmare. You might have seen some of the people, they don't want to encounter this PML Act. They keep on shifting the parties also because they want to be in a safe place. So this is a state of affairs of the country. If the country is able to counter terrorism, corruption, arms ammunition deal and cheating, then we will be able to grow financially. Then if we are able to grow financially, sir, definitely we will have a very good social impact. The government will have money to invest on the schools, colleges, roads, institutions, infrastructure, then the country automatically grows. When the country grows, then the people also will be very happy here. So that how it is having an impact on social, financial and integrity of this country. So the purpose of this money laundering was basically they wanted to counter the corruption, cheating, drug peddling. So I will try to explain you about this money laundering in a small picture that I have got it here. Basically, what is money laundering? We'll understand. You do a crime, and from that crime you generate some money. Generate is money. You may even generate assets, properties. For example, I do a cheating. I will take the example which I have investigated. I have investigated a case called IMA, Indian Monetary Advisory. There was a big scam of 4,000 crores. When I was in ED, I was investigating that case and we filed a charge sheet also. This case background is one Mohammad Mansoor Khan who is well educated. He will take investment from various poor people and say that I will give you returns of 3%, 4% per month. So it's almost 30-40% per year, which is not possible. But it goes on taking investment from various people. He had taken investment from as many as 82,000 people across the country, and the whole volume went up to 4,000 crores in the period of around 7 to 8 years. And what did he do with this money? What he used to do is he was paying some returns to the investors, and as and when the volume increased, he could not service the interest. He was not able to pay the interest because he had engaged himself into other activities, like he wanted to be a politician. He went on funding the politicians. He went on bribing the officers. He went on bribing the revenue officers. He went on bribing the institutions for getting licenses and other things for his own construction. So when so much of money was going away from that 4,000 crores, he was not able to pay the investors. Then when you are not able to pay the investors, they went on lodging complaint with various police stations. There are almost around, say, 45,000 odd cases registered against this IMA institution, including Mohammad Mansoor Khan. So what happened? He was not able to pay. Suddenly there was a case registered. Then there was a SIT formed in state police. Then I was in ED. Police formed a SIT, Special Investigation Team, and they formed a team of almost 200 odd people, officers of the rank of DIG, IG, SP, and DSPs, inspectors. And they went on all the places where this IMO offices were there, lands were there. They conducted Mazar, they attached all the properties, seized all the gold and cash, whatever they had. They could call accumulate to around, say, only 100 odd crores. Then I was in ED. Then I was observing what the activities of the state police. Then we had invoked PML Act there. You have to understand this PML Act in two perspectives. See, you may ask, sir, already state police was investigating. Why did the ED arrest another case? There are two distinct offences. One is the crime of cheating that he has done with the public. That is one offence. The other one is the money which is derived from the crime of cheating, he has invested in his own institutions, or he has parked it in some places, he has given it to his relatives, he has kept somewhere else. That is different offence. So we have to understand this PML Act in two aspects. One is the crime, and the second one is proceeds of crime. ಒಂದು ಅಪರಾಧದಿಂದ ಸಂಪಾದಿಸತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು. ಸೊ ಅಪರಾಧದಿಂದ ಸಂಪಾದಿಸತಕ್ಕ ದುಡ್ಡು ಮತ್ತು ಅಪರಾಧಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಏನಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಅಪರಾಧ ಮಾಡಿದ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಏನೋ ಚಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತೇಳಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂದು ಸ್ವಂತ ಗಳಿಸಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡು, ಇದು ನಂದು ಆಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ his own property from genuine source of income and the project ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, that is different offense. So I will explain it in this way. He has committed a offense of cheating by way of which he has earned some money. Okay, this offense is predicate offense ಅಂತಾರೆ, scheduled offense. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದಿರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, that money which he has got from that proceeds of crime, he goes on investing into various banks, institutions, and keeps it rotating in various bank accounts. Most of the corrupt officials also do the same thing. Once they get the money, they go on putting into so many banks and accounts. So they don't want to show the original source of income. What is the original source of income? Can anybody tell me? What is the source of income? Cheating. ಅಪರಾಧ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಂಪಾದಿಸತಕ್ಕ ದುಡ್ಡು. So that what he does, he puts into various banks, and after rotating, he will buy a car, he will buy a bungalow, he will invest into real estate, he will set up an industry. Here, it appears as if it is his own money, but actually the source is cheating. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇದು ಏನು ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್, and this is called scheduled offense, ಅಂದ್ರೆ predicate offense ಅಂತೀವಿ, which police will investigate this. This will be investigated by ED. You are able to understand what I am trying to say? So ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ there are two different offenses. One is the predicate and the scheduled offense, that is cheating, and after cheating, whatever proceeds he has got, he has rotated in various accounts and purchased some property and projecting it as his own hard earned money ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? That is called laundering. How did this word laundering come? Money laundering ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂತು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. The very word laundry ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What is laundering? Laundry, washing. So what he is doing? He is washing the dirty money which he got from the proceeds of crime and showing it as clean money. That is called laundering. You are able to appreciate that. I'll tell you what happened. Actually, in America, as I told you about the gangster, there was one gangster who was only into drug peddling and arms dealing. So he earned lot of money, so much of money. He Because all the money that you get from drug peddling and arms and munitions deal, do you think anybody will give a check? ಯಾರು ಚೆಕ್ ಇಂದ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಾ? Cash ಕೊಡೋದು. So he was having so much of cash with him, he did not know how to use it. And when you go with this volume to the bank, when you go to with this volume, please deposit in my account and ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರ ಅವರು? They will not take. They'll ask you, please tell me what is the source of this money, because the banks also have been instructed by the Ministry of Finance. You should explain the source. Only then you can take the money. So what this mafia did is, they got all this money, cash, converted into white. How did you do? Huh? No. He did. In US, they had laundries. Washing machine ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ರೋಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾವೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, small what you call shops. So generally that is out of cash. They don't take by check or anything, because small money. So he set up as many as 1,000 washing machines across the country. Okay. And when people came to him for washing machines, he used to wash and take the cash. Okay. But his capacity was at the maximum. He could do a business in one counter. He could do a business of say $100 in a day. But he used to not get that much of business. His maximum capacity was $100. He used to hardly get $2 or $3. But remaining $93, he used to show as if he has earned from the laundering business. You got my point? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದರ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡೇ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅರ್ನ್ $100. ಬಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನಿಗೆ. ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇ $5 to $10. ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ he used to show I've run full business. ನಂಗೆ $100 ನಂಗೆ ಈ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ $100 used to show by cash, and then used to go and deposit in the bank. Used to say, I have a laundering machine. I have earned this $100. You please deposit. Then the bank used to accept it. Another way, what he used to do is, he used to have a car washing, service center. So his capacity to wash car is around say 10 cars in a day. 10 cars. But he used to hardly get 2 or 3 cars in a day. But he used to show full business. I washed 10 cars. And used to deposit that money in the bank. So this is how we did the laundering of dirty money and invested in the banks. And from banks he purchased property. The process of converting the dirty money into white money is called laundering. You are able to appreciate this? If any doubt, you can just ask me. So I'll further go and explain little more in a different way. Now, what is the difference between black money and dirty money? As I already told you, dirty money is a money that is out of proceeds of crime. What are the crimes? There's list of crimes which have been mentioned in the schedule of PML Act. There's a separate schedule to the PML Act, and in that schedule they have mentioned mostly it is extortion. ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಲಾದ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ extortion. Second is drug trafficking. Biggest money involved in is drug trafficking. We Kannadigas in Karnataka are so safe because drugs in Karnataka is easily available, but not that easily available also. If you go to Punjab, if you go to Northeast, if you go to Delhi, if you go to Nepal, it is just available like it is available in any pawn shop. A pawn is available, that way drugs also available. Ganja is available, afim is available. Drugs is so easily available. We are blessed that even in Karnataka, and we are able to still able to combat it, not 100%, at least to a great extent. So drug peddling is another. Then smuggling and prostitution rings. This is a well organized. You may be surprised why sir is telling so much about prostitution. You do not know the amount of money involved in prostitution is very high, especially in metropolitan cities. It's very, very high. Then arms, antique, gold smuggling. There is a lot of money involved, and this is also a bigger crime. Then casino gambling. Casino, there's huge money involved in cash involved. and mostly it is the proceeds of crime only, where they go and invest and they do a lot of gambling. Then financial frauds like cheating, misappropriation, then corruption. It's a major. I will share one. Definitely, I should share an example. You'll be able to connect it faster. Recently, there was a scam in Karnataka. Valmiki Nigam. Has anybody read the newspaper about Valmiki Nigam? There are 218 crores of budget which was allotted to one particular Nigam called Valmiki Nigam. The money goes from the Karnataka department to the Valmiki Nigam, and from there the money is swiddened out with the involvement of the officials and ministers of that Nigam, and that money is being used in various election funding, then election expenses by a particular party. Now, if you see, a SIT was formed by CID to investigate the matter, and they have arrested some of the people. One person committed suicide also in that, and parallelly, ED also investigates the matter. ED is basically into financial and fund trade and proceeds of crime. So they don't go for one FIR is there, means they will look into the proceeds of crime. How much money? 218 crores. Where all this money has gone to this accounts? From there, who are the beneficiaries? These are the people, and who are involved in this? They will arrest all those people involved, and you won't even get bail also so easily. So some ministers are also arrested. Then a lot of officials were arrested in that corruption case. It is basically a corruption plus it is a cheating. Then illegal sale of wildlife products and specified predicate offences. So these are the few which are mentioned here. But if you open the PMLA Act, you don't have to get into so much of details until you're investigating PMLA cases or you're an advocate. So there you require this. But for your understanding for UPSC or any competitive exam, you should know that for the ED to invoke the PMLA Act, there has to be a predicate offence. What is a predicate offence? These are the predicate offence, which are mentioned in the schedule of the PMLA Act. Okay. Mutual fund is not a what you call crime. Mutual fund is an investment. The top companies they invest and you get returns on that. Okay. If somebody has done a fraud within the mutual fund, that is a different offence. But mutual fund is investment. Okay. So the proceeds from all this crime is called dirty money. Okay. Wherever it is declared as a legal, government cannot lay hands. Whether in Karnataka it is illegal. If anybody has earned money by running a casino, it is a crime. And whatever money has earned from the casino is the proceeds of crime. That's called dirty money. Okay. And the dirty money is called crime money, or its next name is proceeds of crime. Okay. If you earn money here, by doing a crime, the whatever you earned is proceeds of crime. Now we should understand a little bit about black money. Suppose I'll give a small example and explain you. Suppose you have a site. So 30-40 on site is Nimatra. Then you want to ask something? You have a site and you sell that site for 20 lakh rupees to some buyer. And that buyer, he says, I can give only 10 lakhs by check. Remaining I'll give by cash. And the guidance value of that property is also 10 lakhs. So he said, you take 10 lakh rupees by check, remaining you take by cash. Have you done any crime there? You have not done a crime, but you evaded taxes. Rightfully, you should have taken everything by check only and pay the tax to the tax department. Then that whole 20 lakhs would be white money. But what you have done, 10 lakhs you have taken by check and remaining 10 lakhs you have taken by cash. And if you pay the tax for the 10 lakh rupees, then the remaining 7 lakhs, suppose you pay 3 lakh rupees as tax, the remaining 7 lakhs also becomes white. But what you do, why should I pay the government department tax? Who is going to ask me? Katala. So that 10 lakhs becomes black money. You are not done a scheduled crime. but it is a black money, not dirty money. You should understand the difference between dirty money and black money. So this is a small picture which I have given. Then let us go to the next one. Which one? No, it is not a crime, sir. If income tax people come to know, they'll raid your house and ask you to pay the taxes. You will not be arrested. You will not be booked for money laundering case. Huh? You have proof that you have sold this property for 20 lakhs. But while taking that 20 lakhs, you have not taken all the money back by account. Only 10 lakhs you have taken by account, and remaining 10 lakhs you have taken by cash, for which which profit you have made, you are supposed to pay income tax to. You have not paid income tax. Only income tax. So I already explained about this money laundering. Okay, I don't have to again repeat this because there are a lot of things to be covered. So what are the processes involved in money laundering? You are able to connect with what I am saying? I don't want to waste a precious time of 2 hours if I am not able to connect. What are the processes involved? There is a proceeds of crime I earned by cheating, or I earned by drug peddling, or I earned by arms and ammunition dealing, or I earned by dealing with wildlife proceeds and something like that. So as soon as I earn that particular proceeds of crime, how I am going to convert it into white money? There is a process involved. First, what I will do, suppose I earned 10 lakh rupees by committing a crime of cheating. Okay, that 10 lakh rupees, I straight away cannot go and invest in a bank. They will ask, what is the source for this? They will ask KYC. You know what is KYC? Know your customer guidelines. Where is this 10 lakhs come from? Then I am supposed to explain them. So, and they will not easily accept it also until I show that I have a business, that I have earning. They will not accept it. So, what I do, I will not go and straight away invest it in the bank in full fledged. What I will do, I will invest, place it in different small segments. I'll invest say around 50,000 rupees into my son's account. I'll pay 50,000 rupees to my daughter's account. Then 50,000 to my wife's account. Another 15 to my account. So small amount they will not ask. After 1 month, I'll put another 50,000 rupees and gradually I increase the quantity. That when you're investing a small money, they will not ask. The process of placement is called one of the process involved in money laundering. So first what you do when you get a proceeds of crime, you do placement. That is one in the bank. The other, as I told you, laundering machines, then car washing machines, then you invest small money into real estate, small money. So that process is called placement. First you place the dirty money that you have got into various small units. Then layering, then you rotate it. So I have already invested say 5 lakh rupees into my son, daughter and my own account and my wife's account. This money what I do, I rotate to various other banks and I'll tell them this money has come from this savings. Then from there I'll invest into some other institution. I'll say that money has come from this. So the original source of proceeds of crime is not known to anybody subsequently. That process is called money laundering. So I conceal the source of ownership of funds. Actually, what is the source? Crime. You got my point? So that is how I do lot of layering, one after the other account. I showed that picture, right? Where is it? This process is called layering. So first I do placement, proceeds, then small amount I do placement. From placement I do layering. You know how the washing machine works also, no? This is how it works. Do lot of layering, then what comes out of it is clean money. So I just like put in a conventional way that I have committed a murder and the blood has been split on my shirt. I come, put it in the washing machine, clean it, iron it and wear it and project as if I have done no crime. I'll come to the shell company. Shell companies and bogus companies. I'll explain that. There are two types of companies. One is shell company, the other one is bogus company. If you want, I can explain right away. Shell companies are basically used for rotation of dirty money. Okay. For example, they don't have any existence. There is no proper address. Okay, and these companies are basically used to transfer money from one to the other account, from there to the other account, and from there to the other account. So nobody will come to know the origin of the money. Okay, shell companies. They don't do any genuine businesses. Though when it is registered, they say that I am into trading. They will say that I am into real estate. They may say that I am into some tuitions, but actually they don't do any of that business. They only what you call do the transactions without any genuine business. They are called shell companies. Then bogus companies. Bogus companies are those companies, they are well registered, they have a location, they have existence, they have a director, they have few employees, but they will not do business as much as they show. Suppose they do a business of 5,000 rupees and showing the business is done to 5 lakh rupees. Got my point? That's called bogus company. Is that clear, madam? The other way of laundering, other way of converting the dirty money into white money is stock markets. You buy small shares. 1 share, 2 shares, small, 10 rupees, 50 rupees, and then nobody is going to ask you. Gradually, when you do lot of trading in a year, at the end of the year, your inventory is say you have an investment of around 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and this is your own individual. There will be such, imagine that 20, 30 people, then you see the volume that they do laundering. Agriculture products and produce. See, today most of the politicians or bureaucrats, when they earn lot of money, they will show that they earned out of agriculture, which is very common phenomenon in our country. Zero tax, and nobody is going to do the assessment over there. Okay, even if they grow a sugar cane of 10 tons also, they will show as if they have earned 25 tons, 50 tons, 100 tons. And what they do, they buy the sugar cane from the neighboring farmers by paying a little more extra money, send it to the sugar factory in their name and get the bill in their name. And that is the best way of converting dirty money into white money. That's agriculture. Real estate, gold, precious metals, high value consumer goods. This real estate, I may buy a site for 50,000 rupees, but I invest 50,000 rupees by way of cash. Actually, if you buy any site in Bangalore city, very hardly 20 to 30% where they take completely by check. Most of it is 50% is taken by check and 50% is taken by cash. So there is a lot of scope in real estate also. You can buy gold. If you want to go to gold shop, you can buy gold by paying cash. Small gold. If you want a huge, they will ask you pay by check. But nowadays they are accepting by cash also. So this bogus imports and exports. Suppose I have a company and I am showing a lot of exports. Actually, there is no exports, but I am showing it in my paper. That's called bogus companies. This, madam, I think I cleared it. Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Clear it. Hmm. 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 See, you have a site, government guidance, it's called guidance value or it's generally called guidance value. Government the rate fix ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. Suppose this is Jakkur here the rate per square feet is around say 5,000 rupees per square feet. But the neighboring person says, I will get for only 10,000 rupees per square feet. So, but I want remaining 5,000 by cash. About 5,000 you check ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, that is accounted. Remaining 5,000 not accounted. He'll take it by cash. That is what you call tax paid money. That becomes black money, but not dirty money. Is there any question? See, now India as such is a very high prone country for money laundering, because India as such is a very vast country, such a vast country, and we have federal type of system in our government, and ours is a democratic system. So there's lot of scope for crime, money laundering, and the money going outside also. With the new global economy coming into India and import and exports being so easily transacted in day-to-day life, so there is lot of scope for money laundering. And money laundering is such a dangerous and hazardous to the country, like there can be no other crime as dangerous as money laundering. Why I'll tell you this? I'll give a perfect example. You take for example a country called Pakistan. It is a neighboring country. You know the state of affairs of that country today. The state of affairs of the country is so bad. Petrol per liter is 250 rupees. Wheat per kg is almost 260 rupees per kg. Dollar exchange rate, if you check, last time I had checked, was somewhere around 300 rupees. With these three examples which I am showing you, you will come to know the state of affairs of that country. ಯಾಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ತುಟ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ crime and proceeds of crime. As you all well aware that Pakistan economically is a very poor in state of they have not been able to meet any GDP. Number two, they have borrowed huge loans from the World Bank. They never ever paid it back. And what happens to this money which they borrow from the World Bank is, the moment they get, say, suppose $1 million, $1 billion, that $1 billion, almost 70% of the money goes for corruption. Who are these people who take corruption from the money? Is that one is the politicians, ISA activists, armed forces, bureaucrats, and other anti-social elements. They say we want this much of stake. Once 70% is gone, well, how can you run a country with 30% of the budget that has been come to that country? And this 30% will not be even able to maintain the country's what you call disasters that happen in that country. If suppose there is a cyclone, if suppose the earthquake, suppose there are some other issues, they will not be able to give basic amenities to that country. So that is one reason that country has not been able to grow. And what happens to the 70% of the corruption money that is taken away by the ISIS, politicians, bureaucrats, armed people? That money is not invested in Pakistan. That money goes out of the country. Suppose, let me give a small example. Suppose your father is having a salary of say 1 lakh rupees per month. And out of that 1 lakh rupees, you have to run the house, take care of the maintenance of the house, children's education, ration, and electricity bill, food grains, everything has to be taken care. Suppose, if the father is engaged himself into some illegal activities and he transfers some huge money elsewhere and is able to get home only say 30,000 rupees, he will not be able to maintain the house. That 70,000 money which goes out of the house, that house becomes rich or poor. That is what is happening in Pakistan today. 70% of the money goes as corruption. In any field, not only the World Bank loan, even small production that they do in terms of textile or small mining or whatever it is, even that money is also engaged in corruption. So 70% of the money is swindled off. And what can you expect the 30%? There will be no growth, there will be no infrastructure, there will be no roads. They will not be able to pay salary, they will not be able to create employments. They will not be able to educate, higher education, forget. Then what happens when such is the situation? Then the people engage themselves into illegal activities like drugs, like arms and ammunition deal. They will tell, you give me 1 lakh rupees, I will go enter into India, Jammu Kashmir, I will kill 5 people, 10 people. And this is how jihadists and terrorist activity started. They are ready to give their life for few thousand, few lakh rupees. You heard about Kasab? Anybody knows who is Kasab? The man who was caught in Mumbai, alive. The person who caught was my very close friend, Sanjay Goelkar. He said, my parents were very, very poor and they assured good life to my family and they assured few thousands of rupees every month. So I got into this and I became a terrorist and I came to India and they killed more than 200 people, Indians and foreigners in Mumbai. And he was the only person who was caught alive. and he confessed to it. So this is the state of affairs of Pakistan. So that money which goes out of the country, where it is being parked, you go to US, you go to UK, you go to Middle East countries, there are streets of Pakistan bureaucrats, streets of politicians of Pakistan. So the money is laundered from that country by which is earned by corruption, proceeds of crime, and parked in other countries. So the country has become poor. On humanitarian, madam, humanitarian grounds, because the World Bank is meant to take care of the world, humanity. Okay, whatever may be the status of affairs, they get into an agreement. They'll give promises. If they don't give, what will happen? People will die of hunger, which they don't want to. Definitely, it definitely goes. See, the World Bank is rich enough to feed the country, the world. That is because the funds come from various developed countries. That is the reason they give. So, maybe Pakistan is a nuclear country, they have nuclear weapons. Yes, yes, you are right, madam. It was in the grey list of PML Act also. The world, various developed countries, G7 countries, they told you better implement this law effectively. And they have failed to implement it. India was successful in resting maximum number of cases under PML Act. We have proved the world that we are able to combat money laundering to a great extent, whereas Pakistan has utterly failed. So they don't invest anybody. Nobody will invest in Pakistan. Same is the case with Afghanistan. Who will invest in Afghanistan today, where there is no law and order? AK-47 rowdies rule the country. Girl child cannot go to schools, colleges. You know what happened with Pakistan, Sri Lanka? Few years back, there was a chaos. The president, prime ministers, so many cars were burnt off because they used to buy cars worth 10 crores, 50 crores, 100 crores, whereas people there were suffering without food only because of corruption. Come back to Bangladesh. You know the state of its life state of affairs. Today, there is a chaos. There is no security. So this is what happens when the corruption goes out of control, when there is no law, and for all this the root cause is money laundering. Like crime, if suppose our Indian politicians, if they are able to invest in India, at least the money remains back in India. Suppose one politician, he has purchased say a land of 10 acres in the heart of the city and is developing that. So many people are engaged in the development. They are getting the daily wages. The building comes up, mall comes there, business activity happen there, people get employment. The money is rotated within the country. At least the money is being used within the country. But when the money goes out of the country, suppose our politicians start investing money in US, there are some people which is covered in FEMA. When they invest out of the country becomes poor. Swiss Bank is one of the World Bank, madam, where anybody can go and invest or deposit or keep as a safe locker. There are a lot of politicians who have kept money in the Swiss Bank, and we have been able to get the data. We are yet to get the money back from there. We are working on negotiating with that particular Switzerland to get that money back. And we are also trying to have a treaty with that country, international treaty, so that they give all the data correctly. We are in the process because it is not that easy to tell some other country to give all the data, because it is their privilege, their decision, okay, to give the information, not to give information. So we can't insist, but we can request in the interest of the humanity. Pardon? Yes. That is nothing but a way of money laundering only. When people have excess of money, that is what they enter into. You heard about Nityananda? It's another way of money laundering. He had a case with ED. We interrogated him in ED. As I told you, we have what you call international treaties. Hello, madam. Good morning. Uh, yes. Like when it comes to foreign land, we have to follow some procedures. See, I worked in CBI for almost 8 years. During my tenure in CBI, suppose my criminal is staying in, say, England. Let us take Vijay Mallya himself. I am going to cover that aspect called Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, which has come in 2018, which will deal with people who have left the country and taking shelter in other countries. As on today, the 46 what you call uh, uh, criminals who have left the country. Among them is Vijay Mallya, Choksi, Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi. All these people have left this country and parked themselves in other countries where they feel safe. And they have gone to such countries where it is difficult to extradite them. And every country has got its own laws. Suppose I'll tell you a best example of IMA itself. In IMA case, where I was investigating a case in ED and the state police investigating in the crime, that is cheating. So what this state police, they are very, Karnataka state police is one of the best police after Mumbai. And what they did is, they were able to conduct search in various places. They have seized as much as around 200 odd crores. And this man had fled to Dubai, to Mohammed Mansur Khan. And they wanted to secure him. So what they did is, they selected 3 officers. One officer of the rank of DCP and 2 ACP officer rank. So they went to Dubai. They searched all along for almost 8 days with the help of the local informants. And this was all done illegally. You cannot go to some other country and search somebody and get him arrested and come. But they somehow tried to do search. And how they did is, they caught hold of his relative. He is Mohammed Mansur Khan's mother, sister, son. Mausi Maga antivi akade ma Belagam side, Chikkaman Maga. So they caught hold of that gentleman and they said, you have to show me where is Mr. Mohammed Mansur Khan. So he used to take these people all around wherever he was staying and all the stuff, and they never found him for almost 1 week, because the person who was about to show Mohammed Mansur Khan was in the night going and meeting him and telling that I am trying to avoid you people being caught and all. So he was in hand in glove with Mohammed Mansur Khan. ಅವನು ದಿವಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸೋದು, ಅವ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ದೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ದೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಮನ್ಸೂರ್ ಖಾನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಹೆಂಗೋ ನಾನು ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾಳೆ ನಾನು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ 7 days he played a trick with our police. 8th day, the police finally used the police skills and said, Daddy, we doubt you, so better you show him where he is or we will arrest you and take. This was the final resort, they said. Then finally that fellow agreed, no sir, there is one last place which I doubt he is hiding there and we will try to track him. Next day, they surrender. Mohammed Mansur Khan surrenders. And I was observing this sitting in ED, because ED is central government agency and police was state police. So since I had worked in state police and I was on deputation to ED, I was closely observing what is happening here. Then I come to know that Mohammed Mansur Khan has been surrendered. Now they have to get him back to India. Since I had worked in immigration, that's called IB, I had a knowledge. If any criminal is going out of India or coming to India, they have to cross through a check post, and that check post is called international check post. Which are the international check posts? This question can be asked. One is airports, ship, that is sea check post, land check post. Correct. These are basically 3 types of check posts. If you go to Nepal, there is a border check post, that's land. When you are going out, they have to enter a passport and seal and get. When you are coming, you have to get. There is a Bangladesh also. If you go to Wagah border, Pakistan, there is a land check post. These are land check posts. Then the other checkposts are airports. International flights, when they leave our country or when they come back to India, the airports, all the passports are being checked, sealed, and then you are allowed to get in India, or if you are going, they are allowed to go out. Is everybody aware of this? Similarly, in the sea checkpost. ಇಲ್ಲ ಜೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ದೀಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವೆಂಟ್ left the country before a case was registered against them. So I'll come to this. I'll complete this. You'll be able to appreciate that. So our people somehow managed to get him. They immediately booked a ticket to get him back to India. When they booked a ticket, I was getting the information that he has been arrested. He has been not arrested. He cannot arrest in somebody else's land. They're getting him from there. What I did was, I spoke to my director, Sunil Agarwal. He had worked in RAW and Interpol. Sir, state police have managed to get Mohammed Mansoor Khan, but before they get him to their custody, we wish to take in our ED case and interrogate him thoroughly. They said, fantastic. You open a LOC, he said. Lookout circular is opened. What is lookout circular? This is a lookout circular. You have to understand this because this is a very common thing. LOC. Lookout circular is a circular which is put in all the international checkposts, be it land, air, or sea. Whenever any person is going out of the country, they type their name and passport number. If there is a LOC against him, they all ask him to sit next to us and inform the person who has originated the LOC. So I opened a LOC against Mohammed Mansoor Khan. By the time they could take off from there, this message had gone to the international checkpost in Delhi, Bangalore, and all the international checkposts. So when that flight took off, I came to know which flight he has because this advance manifest which is available to our Bureau of Immigration. Okay. So I came to know about the flight taking off also. Before landing, there was announcement in the flight. What was the announcement? There is one person by name Mohammed Mansoor Khan sitting in this particular seat number. He will get down first and then the remaining passengers will get down. See, without me going to that country, I managed to get him just like that. When the flight landed, the officers in the Delhi airport got him, made him to sit in one room where I was sitting. I completed the formalities of immigration, got him in my custody and arrested him in my case. That is ED's case. Whereas the three officers who struggled for 9 days in Delhi, in Dubai, they did not get him. How was it possible? Because we have to follow the due procedure of law. Sitting here, I opened a LOC and got his custody. 9 days, our three officers struggled to get him and could not secure him. So, coming to your point, why we not been able to go and track those people is we have to follow the procedures of law. Every country has got its own laws, and when we enter, suppose there is one criminal who has gone to Pakistan and we want him back to India, they are not going to give us so easily because we don't enjoy a good relationship with Pakistan. But suppose a person has gone to, say, Middle East countries. Recently, around 13 raw officers were caught in Saudi. We were able to secure him because we had a good treaty. Otherwise, they would have been hanged to death. It all depends on the mutual international treaty that we enjoy. That country. Suppose now let us take example of Vijay Mallya. He is an NRI. He's got dual citizenship. He's got a citizenship of UK also. It is very difficult to get him back to our country. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. There is no written law, but they have a treaty with us. Like, suppose we want to get somebody, we have to follow the due procedure of law. If it is within the treaty, they'll give him to us. For example, we got, you heard about Ravi Pujari? He's underworld don. He was in Sudan. We brought him to India. Today he is in Parapnagar jail. I happened to interrogate him in one of our ED case also. So let us go a little fast because we are running out of time. Now coming back to the PMLA, apart from execute this ED executing PMLA Act, we have been also able to establish Financial Intelligence Unit. This also can be asked, what is FIU? They may ask you, what is FIU? FIU is nothing but Financial Intelligence Unit. This is an organization established by the government of India, working in Ministry of Finance. What they do is, whenever they get any suspicious transactions in any particular bank or financial institutions or stock exchange, they will shoot a message to all the law enforcing agencies, CBI, ED, local police, and other income tax, central access and customs. They will send STRs, and those organizations will look into those transactions. If they have transacted in their departments also, and they will take action against them. So this is the duty of FIU. Then there is also called KYC. Okay. You know about KYC, right? KYC is nothing but know your customer. This is a mandatory provision which all the banks have to do it before opening an account. It is a mandate. Then recently, to avoid this money laundering, Government of India also did a job of demonetization of Indian currencies, because lot of money, fake money currencies were being brought to India through the borders from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal. So to avoid that inflow of money, see, from the time we did this demonetization, the terrorist activities have also come down to a great extent, especially in the valleys. So the objective of PMLA is basically to prevent money laundering and punish the persons who are involved in money laundering and confiscate the properties involved in the money laundering. See, one is, suppose I have done money laundering, you may arrest me, but if you are not able to take away the proceeds of crime, then I am a rich man. Again, I will come out on bail and enjoy the properties. But what the PMLA does is, it will confiscate the properties. I am going to deal with that separately, and ultimately see that the money is given back to the government of India. That is a beautiful provisions that we are having in PMLA Act. Whenever any proceeds of crime is found with any offender, what they do is, they first do provisional attachment, then take possession of the property, and then he is not able to prove that it is his own genuinely earned property, then we auction it, and the money that we get out of auction is deposited in the government of India's account. That is a very stringent law. Government of India will not do it. People working with government of India may do it, like bureaucrats, what you are saying. Yes. Not, see, government in the sense, government will give money to the department, sports department, and the officials who are handling that funds, they were involved in this. So they were arrested, he was put behind bars, properties are confiscated. To a great extent, whatever they could find, they have been able to recover. See, that is the beauty of this. I will explain in that beautiful chart which I prepared for. The whole money laundering act has been explained in one page. Before going to that, I thought I will take the basics. The beauty of this money laundering act is, like, we are not worried about the criminal. We are more worried about the proceeds, the property, the money, the assets that has been derived out of money laundering. That we are worried. So that job is done by ED. Whereas in police, they are more worried about the accused. They want to arrest him. They want to punish him by sending him to jail. We are worried about the proceeds in ED. That is why, and this law is very, very powerful law. There is no bail. I'll explain about that. It's a non-bailable offense. Okay. And As a ED officer, I cannot give him on bail. I cannot let him on bail, whereas state police can let him on station bail. And even the court cannot let him on bail so easily. They have to satisfy two things. One is that prima facie he should have not involved himself into the money laundering, which is very difficult to prove in the initial stage. He has to prove, not the court doesn't have to prove. We don't have to prove it, ED. If I arrest somebody in money laundering case, he is supposed to prove and say that, sir, I have not done any money laundering. I have done no crime. It is very difficult for him. Whereas in state cases like criminal cases, we have to prove, sir, he is a person who has done the crime of cheating. He has done this forgery. He has taken away this money. I am supposed to prove the evidence in the court. Whereas in ED, I will only charge him and say, sir, he has done, I will tell the court, sir, he has done the offense of money laundering because he had done the offense of cheating. This is the FIR and this is the proceeds of crime. He has to say. It is very, very difficult for him. Huh? Huh? He has to prove. Offshore account has to belongs to him. He has to prove. He has to prove how he got an account opened there. He has to prove how he got that money there. How he brought that money to India. How did he get these properties? No. In PML, in ED, offshore accounts are dealt in FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. So, suppose anybody sends some money to overseas, okay, he has to send it through proper channel only, through banking channel. He cannot send it through Hawala. And suppose he has brought some money from overseas to India, it has to come through banking channel. And he has to explain why he brought that money to India. That is the very purpose of the act. FEMA, I am going to deal with that in the end. Foreign Exchange Management Act. It was liberalized in 1999. Earlier, we had a very stringent law called FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, which was, there was a provision of arrest and they used to not get bail so easily. But why we diluted that FERA and made it diluted and why you made it easy is basically we wanted to foreign exchange faster. Import, export has to increase, economy has to grow, then exchange of knowledge, exchange of technology. Before 1999, having a imported mobile also was a difficult task. But today, sitting here at a click of button, you can get iPhone 16 Max Pro on the day it is launched in America. No, income tax is totally different and ED is different. They both come under Ministry of Finance, but this is comes on ED is a different department which deals with these three acts which I told you. That is PML Act, FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, and Physical Economic Commerce Act. Income tax deal with Income Tax Act and Benami transactions. This is non-bailable. That is bailable. Both are central government, come under Ministry of Finance. So, finally I have got this chat, which took me almost 2 hours to prepare this. This whole act of PML has been explained in this one chat. Now you have basically understood what is money laundering, right? And different procedures involved, processes involved in money laundering. You have to do placement, then layering, then finally it is invested in various institutions, and that is also understood. Now, this PML Act 2002, though it was enacted in 2002, it came into force only in 2005. Okay. Why this act came also I have explained a bit, because basically it dealt about, it didn't want about terrorism and drug trafficking and overseas transactions like cheating, forgery. It was easy for people to transfer money. To avoid that, this act has come into picture. And to register a case under PMLA, there has to be a scheduled offense. You are there? Got it? There has to be a case registered under police or central excise or narcotics or some law enforcing agents. There has to be a case registered already. Police. I told that IMA case. The case was being investigated by CID. Based on that case, we registered ECIR in ED. See, to start investigation of money laundering, there has to be a crime. Do you agree with this? If you are able to appreciate that, only then you will be able to understand the whole act. Laundering comes when there is a crime. There has to be a crime of cheating. No. No. Good that you asked this question. Otherwise, the whole lesson would have been, chapter would have been gone for a toss. Without crime, there cannot be money laundering. There has to be a crime of cheating. There has to be a crime of drug trafficking. There has to be a crime of arms and ammunition deal, or there has to be a crime of wildlife sale purchases. For money laundering, there has to be a crime registered with the law enforcing agencies. Is everybody clear of it? Yes. So to show that there is a crime, what is required? FIR. Huh? FIR is enough. If there is a crime, there is an FIR. Right? That FIR is enough for ED to take up a case under ECIR. And that FIR should be those cases which have been mentioned in the schedule of PML Act. Not all crimes. ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾರೋ ಕಪ್ಪಾಳಿಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕೇಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ECIR ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರೋ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಚೂರಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಯಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಆ ಕೇಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ECIR ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. That crime should be a economic offense related to finance. ಯಾವುದು? Court will decide on that. You got my point? So ED or case ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ there has to be an FIR. If there is no scheduled offense, if there is no predicate offense, there cannot be ECIR. ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ? ಎಸ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅವ್ರು ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ನೀವು ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರು ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜನರ ಕಡೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ತೊಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದೇನೋ ಸೈಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಬಂಗ್ಲೋ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ತೊಗೋತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದು ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನೀವು ED ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ED will take up a case. You got my point? So first we have to examine the scheduled offense. If you see the first page, examining criminal activity related to the scheduled offense. ಸೊ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದ್ರಾಗ ಏನಾರ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಐತಾ ಹೇಗೆ, ಅದ್ರಾಗ ಏನಾರ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವ ಹೇಗೆ, whether the proceeds have been generated out of that crime, some money has been generated out of the crime, that has to be examined. After examining that, it has to fit into this definition. What is the definition of money laundering? There has to be a concealment of the proceeds of crime. ಈಗ ಅಪರಾಧ ಮಾಡಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ 50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ, ಆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ಆದಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ, ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸೀಲ್ ದ ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮನಿ. ಒಂದು ಕನ್ಸೀಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೊಸಿಷನ್, ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ದ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್. He has acquired it by doing money laundering. He has used that money to do some transactions, or he has used it to buy a land, or he has used it to buy a business establishment, or cars, bungalows. He has used it, and thereafter he has done placement, clearing and integration with that money. ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಲೇರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಬಂಗ್ಲೆ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್. ದೆನ್ ಹಿ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ಸ್ ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್, ದಟ್ ಇದು ನಾನು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾನೆ, ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಅರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತಾನೆ. ದೆನ್ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ He is gaining benefit out of that. He is getting rents, he is driving a car, he is enjoying the big house that he has earned out of the proceeds of crime. So this is definition, if you are able to understand this. So now next to the background I am coming to the chat. So this is the definition. If at all you want to prepare for your UPSC, just keep this chat with you. You will understand the whole PML Act. They cannot ask anything beyond this because this is the whole and complete in a what you call brief set. After this is ascertained that there is a concealment, possession or acquisition or use, and he has placed, layered and integrated, and he is claiming that it is genuine and subsequently is gaining out of it, then this amounts to the offense of money laundering under section 3 of PML Act. Got it? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆನಾ? Then once the offense of money laundering is proved as per your definition, then what will this ED do is they will register ECIR. ECIR is nothing but Enforcement Case Information Report. You know what is FIR? First Information Report, FIR. When there is a crime, if somebody has harassed you, somebody has bothered you, or somebody has cheated you, somebody has threatened you, you go and do a complaint in the police station. And what they will do? They will register FIR. They will give the copy of the FIR to you if you ask or no. They will. But here, it's interesting. ED will register in ECIR. Okay. Nobody will go to ED to lodge a complaint. ED source ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ECR ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ FIR. You got it. Now you are on the same page where I am. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. So, for a ECR to be registered, there has to be a FIR. Now, the difference between ECR and FIR you should understand. FIR is about the scheduled offense. Murder for gain, cheating, drug trafficking, prostitution, corruption. That is for scheduled offense. ECR is for placement, rotating, using it, gaining it, concealing it. That is called money laundering. They are two distinct things. FIR is a public document. Anybody can ask it. You have a right. If you are a complainant or if you are accused, if you have to go to the police station, they have to give a copy of it. But ECR is not so. It is not a public document. You cannot ask for it. Now they will give it to you. Nor it is given to the court. It is within the organization. You are able to understand? So ECIR, Enforcement Case Information Report, is within the department. And nobody will know against whom an ECIR is registered also. That is, you can say a beauty or it can say a curse. So this is about ECIR. Now once ECR is registered, once the definition of money laundering is fulfilled, ECR is registered. Once ECR is registered, then what happens? Investigation starts. Like in police station, once a FIR is registered, the investigation takes up there itself. What they do, once a FIR is registered, they immediately shoot a FIR to the court, give a copy to the complainant, and investigation starts. What happens in the investigation? They go to the spot, do the panchanama, they will understand who are the witnesses, they will examine the witnesses, and if prima facie, if they find that person has committed an offense, they may arrest him also. This is what happens in FIR. But something different happens with ECIR. What happens? Once ECIR registered, it is not given to any court. It is within the file. I have worked for 4 long years in ED. 4 years. So I am speaking with some practical experience. I am just not giving a theoretical class. I have worked and have registered more than maybe 5-6 dozens of ECIR, and I have investigated and handled couple of cases like Muttaparai's case, the Underworld Down, then IMA case, Krantivira Sangalorian case, Michael Flood Ishwar's case, then couple of Ravi Pujari's case, Cycle Ravi's case, and Sukesh Chandrasekhar, you might remembering him. Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who is in central jail today. He was what do you call sitting in the jail. He had committed an offense of 200 crores and used to date Jacqueline Fernandez. You might have heard about that. So I've interrogated him also. So not in that particular case, but he had another case with us. So these are the few cases which I have investigated, and whatever I am talking with lot of practical applications with it. So once a ECR registered, that ECR copy is within the file of the ED and it is with the IO. Before I go with this, I will explain how the ED organization is. There is a director who sits in the Delhi of ED. Then there are joint directors sitting in all the states. Every state has got one joint director. So director is either IAS, IPS or IRS. It is a discretion of the government. When I joined, we had an IPS officer, Colonel Singh. But when I came out of from ED after 4 years of deputation, then Sunil Agarwal had come. So he was IRS. But mainly, let me tell you, it is more of IRS dominated organization. But police can do better than IRS. Now, I am not discriminating, but we are basically skilled in investigation. We could see the difference. When I went, I had a joint director who was from IPS from Karnataka, Raman Gupta sir, and he stays somewhere nearby only. Yes, and due to ill health, he is now not keeping well. He is admitted. He has got a GV syndrome. So he was my joint director. He was such a fantabulous officer that we did maximum attachment, more than 1,000 crores of ill-gotten wealth of money laundering. What do you call cases were attached, properties were attached, and we had a conference in Bangalore. All over India, the officers had come, and they had very high appreciation for Bangalore zone, because the head of the zone was, the state head was an IPS, and he had recruited a couple of police from state, and there are a lot of IRS officers also, but it was one of the best tenure that I enjoyed in my life. So having said that, this ECR copy is with the file of the IO, director in the Delhi, then zonal directors in the respective state heads. Under him there comes deputy director and assistant directors, followed by enforcement officers and assistant enforcement officers and sipais. So I worked as assistant director for almost 4 years. So once the ECR registered, I used to keep the ECR copy with me in my personal custody, highly secret, with my file. Once ECR registered, then I have these powers under various sections of law. For example, let me tell you, ED enjoys quasi-judicial powers. It enjoys both civil and criminal quasi-judicial powers. We have the powers to summon the person related to the money laundering in that particular case, and they are supposed to appear mandatorily. If they don't appear, they can be put under arrest. Number 1. Summons are issued under section 50 clause 2, and his statements are recorded under section 50 clause 3. It is a signed statement given before the IO of the ED officer is valid in the court of law. Unlike police. If police ಮುಂದೆ ಏನೇ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಸಹಿತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Whereas statement given before the ED is valid in the court of law. Then the officer has got the power to conduct a survey. He can go to any organization, any department, conduct a survey, and he has got powers to search and seize. Basically, that is the most powerful, what you call, power given to ED officers. If they find somebody is engaged himself in money laundering and has amassed wealth to the tune of say 50 lakh rupees, we straight away freeze his accounts, attach his properties. That powers has been given in section 17. Then we also enjoy the power of search of a person. If you suspect somebody is having concealed some information in his pocket or in personal bag, like we have powers to search under section 18. We'll ask him, show me your bag. We will ask him to hand over what pen drives he is having, documents he is having, information that he has got. We have that powers to conduct personal search of a person under section 18. Then the most powerful, when you ascertain that prima facie has committed an offence of money laundering, we have power to arrest him under section 19 of PML Acts. No warrant required. It is a non-bailable and cognizable. And after getting him arrested, I cannot leave him on bail. I will only produce him before the court. And the separate designated courts, Delhi CM, ex-CM now, who he was in jail for how many months? More than that. Jharkhand CM, some of the officers from Karnataka also were in jail. Politicians. So, it is non-bailable and cognizable. Then coming to section 54, very interesting. All the departments, all the organizations are supposed to assist the ED officers when called for. Suppose I issue a notice to Karnataka State Police. Sir, I am going to conduct a search in this particular premises and I want police protection. They will come and assist you. Suppose I have to do auditing of a particular account. I am not expert. I will write to audit department. You please come and depute 5 people and do the auditing of this particular accounts and give me a report in this format. They will come and assist you. So that is the beauty of section 54, assistance from certain officers, any department. So when you do all this, suppose issuing of summons, search, seizure, inspection, survey, arrest, search of place, and taking all the assistance of all the organization, what you ascertain is the proceeds of crime. I hope you are able to appreciate this. Now, whether it is too loading, I was told by your director that you people are used to sit for 2 hours. Yes, you should be, because when you are preparing for UPSC, you should have good. Because when I was a little surprised when your directors are told that 2 hours of class. I do conduct classes for Karnataka Police Academy, then go to various other institutions to conduct classes. But 2 hours sometimes it becomes very boring. But since you are very highly aspirant people and you have a very big goal in life, you should train yourself to sit for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. And of course, you are having that capacity. So having gone through all this procedure of investigation, you ascertain the proceeds of crime. Got it? Once you come to know that these properties are derived out of the crime, what is that called? Proceeds of crime. What we do is, we issue provisional attachment order. As an assistant director, I myself write and issue a provisional attachment order on those properties and give it to our deputy director, and deputy director will issue an orders. Yes, prima facie, I find Mohammad Mansur Khan engaged in the offence of cheating, forgery and manipulation, whereby which he has generated a proceeds of crime to the tune of 4,000 crores. And this officer, by so and so name, they will write my name, Basaraj Magdum, has investigated the matter under PML Act. He is able to ascertain properties worth 350 crores. This areas, he will mention, put the schedule, which are liable to be attached by the ED. Then he will issue a provisional attachment order. Who? Deputy Director of ED. Till now we have not gone to the court. This all we are doing within the ED office. ECR issued, it is within the ED. Investigation, within the ED. We have not gone anywhere to the court. Once this is issued, PAO, then we give this report to the adjudicating authority at Delhi. You should understand what is adjudicating authority. Adjudicating authority is an independent organization who there is a set of 3 people who are appointed by Government of India to ascertain whatever attachment they have done under section 5 of PML Act is genuine, and they will issue confirmation. Yes, whatever orders of provisional attachment order issued by the ED office Bangalore by so and so officer has been confirmed. Once it is confirmed, then we issue notices to the respective people, properties which are held by various people. It could be Muhammad Mansur Khan, it could be second wife, fourth wife, fifth wife, sister, brother. The properties held in whosoever's name will be attached, and we write a letter to the sub-registrar's office not to alienate, not to sell, not to transfer those properties. The name of ED will figure in the khata. So this, after this confirmation, then we will write for retention. This property will be permanently retained to us until the case is disposed of. Then this order also is issued by adjudicating authority. After this provisional attachment order and confirmation, we send a prosecution complaint. It is called, you can also see the charge sheet. It is not charge sheet, but it's called prosecution complaint, which is given to the court. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು ಕೋರ್ಟ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. See the amount of powers that ED is enjoying. By now, all these things have happened. Now we file a prosecution complaint in the court under section 45 clause 1. Once, in common man's language, you may call it as charge sheet, but they may ask you in your exam, what is filed by the ED officers after completion of the investigation. They may say FIR, they may say ECIR, they may say charge sheet, or they may say prosecution complaint. You should know this. This is an important document. Once prosecution complaint is filed before the court, then the trial starts. You know what is trial? Karwai. Trial. Advocates will be able to appreciate it. Once the charge sheet is filed, trial takes place in the court, right? So, argument is the next stage. That's called part of the trial. Argument is part of the trial. Once the charge sheet is filed, summons are issued to the complainant, summons are issued to the accused, summons are issued to witnesses. Trial start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರು examination ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then judge will hear to all the witnesses, evidences, complainants, accused, ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳಾದ ನಂತರ judgment is passed. Similarly here, prosecution complaint is filed by the ED. Once prosecution complaint is filed, now the offenders have to prove, my lord, I am innocent. ನಾನು ಯಾವ ಅಪರಾಧ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಡಿಯವ್ರು ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಆರೋಪ ಹೇರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಈ ದಂಧೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಈ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಇಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು, ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ ಅವನು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, which is very, very difficult. Because we would have gathered all information before he could take any defense. So then, after he is given summons and tried, there are three things what can happen in his case. One is, he may be convicted, ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅವನಿಗೆ, that saying that offense prima facie has been proved against you. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು, he may die during the trial. He may die. That's called deceased. Or he may run away from the country, which has happened in couple of people which I told you. Or he may be acquitted. The outcome of trial is only these three. One is he is convicted, or he runs away from the country, or he is no more, or third he is acquitted. So what happens when he is convicted? His properties are confiscated. ಅದೇನು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲೇ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದವ್ರು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪೇಪರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಆ ಬಂದಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಜಮಾ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಲೇಮ್, ದೇಶ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಡೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ, ನೀರವ್ ಮೋದಿ, ಚೋಕ್ಸಿ, ಮಲ್ಯ, ಲಲಿತ್ ಮೋದಿ, all these people have run away from the country. What happens to them? Their property also is confiscated. ನೀವು ಓಡೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಓಡೋಗ್ಲಿ. In case of Vijay Mallya, he had assets of around 12,000 crores. He had done offense of 9,000 crores. So, in fact, when he left the country, all his properties were auctioned and the monies were given to the respective banks, government of whomsoever they rightfully deserve. Sir, we give him an opportunity, he cannot come back the way he wants. We have invoked an act called Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. This act is basically meant to see that the hardcore economic offenders don't run away from the country to avoid trial. It has come in 2018, it's a recent act, very powerful act. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ a charge sheet has been filed against him or a prosecution complaint has been filed against him. Summons has been issued, it doesn't come. Warrant is issued, it doesn't come. And the fraud that he has committed is more than 100 crores. These are the basic requirements. What are the requirements? One is there has to be a warrant against him. Number two, the amount involved should be more than 100 crores. Number three, he should have left the country to avoid trial. ಈ ಮೂರು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಹೇಳಿ ಮೂರು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? Offense should be more than 100. Warrant should be issued against him. He should have fled away from the country to avoid the trial. ಈ ಮೂರು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ then our country will invoke Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ they'll issue a notice to him publicly. It will be sent in the paper, it will be given in the media. Within that, from that date of it is issued, within 3 months, if it doesn't come back to India and invoke that Fugitive Economic Offenders Act notice, so then we declared as a fugitive offender. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದ? ಆ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು 3 ತಿಂಗಳ ಒಳಗಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಾನು ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ನಾನು ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ದೇಶ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಔಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ದೆನ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್. ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ come and give the declaration that will appear, then is declared as a fugitive offender ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವನ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ಫೆಸಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಬಂದಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಜಮಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಜೆಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರು ಸಹಿತ ಇಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟ್ರಿ, ಚೆಕ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಲ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. Sir, what they do is, every criminal is more intelligent, one step ahead of police. So he will keep a track what is happening against him. Once LOC is opened, he cannot go. Before opening LOC only he flees away. ಈಗ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲ್ ರೇವಣ್ಣ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವಿಜಯ್ ಮಲ್ಯ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಚೋಕ್ಸಿ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ, ನೀರವ್ ಮೋದಿ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ, all these people flee away from the country before a LOC was opened against them. Once LOC is opened, he can't go. He'll be arrested in the airport. So that is what. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಲಿಗೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. What opposition will always have an allegation saying that BJP allowed Vijay Mallya to travel, then somebody else allowed somebody to travel ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. If due process of law is followed, nobody can flee away from this country. Forget about this economic offenses, sir. Even I've come across, I was working in immigration for more than 3 years, 7 months, 3 years, 7 months work ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. In the international airport, Bangalore International Airport. I was in charge of immigration. Even a small case of divorce ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಹರಾಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಸಹಿತ he cannot leave the country. Because wife would have registered a case in some police station and that police station would have opened a LOC against him. If he is trying to flee away, we'll catch him in the airport and hand him out to the respective police station. Law is in place. Only thing we have to be timely following the law. ಆಗ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ 3 ಜನ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ 9 ಜನ ದುಬೈದಾಗ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಐ ಓಪನ್ LOC. ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ದ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್. Suppose he is acquitted. What happens? His property will be released back to him. All the records is also will be returned back. Is that clear? So you are able to understand this PML Act, the purpose of the PML Act, what is ECIR, what are the powers given for investigation, what happens to the proceeds of crime. If you are able to appreciate that, I think you will be able to. It is neither constitutional nor it comes under CBI. It is a department like police, Ministry of Finance, Department of Revenue. Like police comes under Home Ministry, madam. The ED comes under Ministry of Finance, Department of Revenue. And Ministry of Finance, who is a Finance Minister now? It comes under her ministry. And there is a Directorate of Enforcement, which is headed by a director. Either it's an IRS, IAS or IPS. The uniqueness of PML Act, as I already discussed about this, the burden of proof lies on the accused. Now, we prove ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. It is for him to prove that he is innocent. Police ಹಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. We have to prove that he is guilty. ಸರ್ ಅವ್ನು ಇಂಥ 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗಳ ಆಯಿತು, ಹೊಡೆದಾಟ ಆಯಿತು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂತಿಂಥವ್ರಿದ್ರು, ಇವನು ಚೋರಿ ಚುಚ್ಚಿದ, ಅವನು ನೋಡಿದ, ಇದು CCTV ಫುಟೇಜ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಇದು ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ, ನಾವು ಹೋಗಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡೋದಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀನು ಇಂಥ ಅಪರಾಧ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಅಸೆಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ಯಾ, ಇಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಈ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೂವ್. ನೋ 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 ಸರ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮನಿ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಮೈ ಅದರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮನಿ, ಅವನು ಹೋಗಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಅವನು. ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 54 ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ದಿಸ್ provisions of PMLA is retrospective effect. That is questioned in the court of law. We will not discuss much on that. Power of issue summons and recording statements of judicial proceedings. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, any statement recorded by ED officer is valid in the court of law. ಈ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಹಂಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಮೀ ಆಸ್ ಎನ್ ED ಆಫೀಸರ್, ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. PML is having overriding effect. Most powerful act ಇದು. Suppose there is an ambiguity between PMLA laws and CRPC or called BNSS. This is ambiguity, then the PMLA will uphold. PMLA also ಅದೇ final. Confiscation. No law provides for confiscation, but whereas under PMLA Act we can confiscate properties held by the accused. That's called proceeds of crime. Both trial by special court. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕಡೆ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್. ಮರ್ಡರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಗೇನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಫಾರ್ಜರಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಡ್ರಗ್ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕರಪ್ಷನ್. ಆ ಕೇಸು ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇಡಿದೊಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕೇಸು. ಓಕೆ, both these case will be tried by special court in one court only. ಆ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಗಲೇ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಯಾವುದು ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಕೇಸು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಕೇಸಸ್. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ED. CBI ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಹಂಗೆ ED ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. PML has independent proceedings, unlike others. These are totally independent proceedings, and it is a standalone act. Like, even if the scheduled offence has not been able to prove by the court, we continue to try the PML Act, and it is a standalone act ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is an independent offence. For example, ಈಗ ಅನ್ಬೋದು ಡಬಲ್ ಜಿಯೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಯು ಹರ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಜಿಯೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಈಗ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಒಂದು ಅಪರಾಧ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು FIR ಆಗಿದೆ, ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದರ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ಮನಿ ಲಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅದು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ECR, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೈಡ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಅಫೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ cheating and money laundering is the same. They are two different separate crimes, and they are being tried separately. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? That's it. And P- ಆ, ಹೌದು, ಆ ಕೇಸು ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕೇಸಾಗ ಏನೋ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಜಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಆ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಿಗರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, FIR ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ದೇರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ECR ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಆಗೋದು, ಬರೀ ಒಂದು FIR ಸಾಕು ನಮಗೆ, ಅದು ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಅಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚೀಟಿಂಗು, ಫಾರ್ಜರಿ, ದೆನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಷನ್, ಡ್ರಗ್ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕಿಂಗ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅ ಟ್ರಿಗರ್. So during my tenure with ED, I investigated a couple of these cases. Like, I was talking about IMA case where I attached 209 crores for properties. ILC Iron and Steel. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಒಬ್ರು MLA ಅವರಿಗೆ 7 ವರ್ಷ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಯಾರು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಯಾವ MLA ಗೊತ್ತಾ? There is a judgment passed by the trial court, Gajanan Bhatt, in one of the mining cases. One MLA of Karwar was convicted for 7 years. Satish Sale from Karwar, MLA from Karwar, was convicted for 7 years. Of course, that is stayed subsequently by High Court, but he was convicted. That is a mining case. This case is a very typical case where Michael Flood Ishwar had committed an offence of what you call murder for gain of an English national, and he had taken away the property of that Venhingan, who was a British national in Mysore, and he had transferred all the properties held in the name of Venhingan to his son and his wife's name. Subsequently, a case was registered by CID, investigated and charged sheeted. I took up a case of ECIR and got the properties attached held by him. Then this Kranti Veera Sangule Rayana 2020. This is another what you call cooperative societies. In south it is little less, but if you go to North Karnataka and Maharashtra, there are a lot of cooperative societies. Anybody from North Karnataka here? Yavuru? Bagalkot. Gadag. So North Karnataka, if you see, there are a lot of cooperative societies. Bireshwar Cooperative Society, Basheshwar Cooperative Society. There are so many societies, and most of the societies, they take a lot of deposits from the public, assuring them huge returns. 15% ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, 14% ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, 10% ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಜನರ ಕಡೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇವರು ಬೇರೆದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಸೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮಗದೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಿಲಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಕ್ರಾಂತಿವೀರ ಸಂಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿವೀರ ಸಂಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಿಲಮ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ದ ಫಿಲಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪುಗೋಡ್, who is from Belgaum. I have investigated that case and I found that he was guilty of money laundering, and we have attached 34 crores worth of his properties. CRIDIL, Karnataka Rural Infrastructure Development Limited. This is an organization which I have investigated a case where money from CRIDIL, that is a state-owned organization, where the officials of the CRIDIL, they deposit some money in one nationalized bank, and from there, just because they wanted to cheat the bank, they have transferred that money to another bank and brought some fake FDs and kept in the file. Fake FDs in the file, and swindled that 55 crores money to Bombay, and they enjoyed that. But somebody gave a complaint and found that these bank officials, in connivance with the officials of CRIDIL, they have cheated the government ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, then we registered a ECIR based on the FIR registered by Mangalore police, and attached, we could trace only 5.5 crores out of 55 crores. Cycle Ravi case. Then Sukesh Chandrasekhar's case I already discussed with you, Dilina Maria Paul. Valmiki Nima case is a live case which is recently going on with the police. So this somehow it is not coming up. This is Foreign Exchange Management Act. Okay. As I told you, why this Foreign Exchange Management Act came into force is, earlier we had FERA, where import and export was very, very stringently and very strictly prohibited, because they used to not allow any foreign goods to come to India, nor we used to export so easily. Then the global economy was not open for our country. But now after 1999 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee government was formed, and there was an opening for global economy. By opening for global economy means that the country, if it has to grow exponentially, then you have to do trading with other countries. There has to be import, export, exchange of technology, exchange of information. Well, then only this country can grow. So to open up the global economy, they scrapped that FERA, which was very stringent, and brought this act called Foreign Exchange Management Act. This is basically only to manage foreign exchange, what is going from this country and how much is coming from this country, from other country. That has to be a balance. If all the money from the country goes and nothing comes to this country, what will happen? ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ? ಬರೀ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ದುಡ್ಡು ಒಳಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ್ದು? Country will go down, sources ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ, financially we become weak. I just gave example of Pakistan, no? That is what will happen. So to regulate that, this FEMA was brought in. So it only sees that whatever money is going from this country, suppose I am into a business of exporting. I have exported goods worth 100 crores to say USA. How much I should get back the money? ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರಬೇಕು? 100 crores ನಾನು ಗುಡ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ? 100 crores. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಗುಡ್ಸ್ ಯು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್, ಅಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ? ಅಷ್ಟು ಅದು ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಗೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಗುಡ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾಲೋ ವಿತ್ ಯು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ 100 crores ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಿದಿನ್ 6 months. 6 months ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್, ನನ್ನ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 6 months. ರೈಟಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೇಫ್. If it doesn't come, then you violated under FEMA. Then you will be charged for it. You may have to pay penalty. Your company may be at stake. I would like to discuss one of this because if you people are going to be future IAS, IPS, IRS, so this you should understand, because basically all these top bureaucracies have been made to safeguard the interest of the country. Safeguard the interest of the country. So when you become an IAS, IPS officer, your first and foremost priority is to see that this country grows. And for that, you have to keep your eyes, ears open. If you become an IPS officer, you have to see that law and order is safe and see the cases are being invested properly. If you are an IAS officer, the country grows, infrastructure is in place, the development is happening, people are getting the benefits, whatever the government is providing, and the properties are being distributed properly as per the government norms. If you become an IRS officer, you should see that all the taxes that has to come to the government in terms of income tax, commercial tax, central excise customs, GST is coming properly to the government. These are your jobs. Along with that, whoever is working in intelligence, whoever is working in ED, whoever is working in economic offences, they have to take care of this also. Because there are a lot of countries working against our country. Like, for example, this case, I have assisted in this investigation of this case, and this case I have personally investigated. So let me discuss this case which I have personally investigated. This is Greenpeace India Society is an international NGO. What it does, I'll tell you. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಇಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ನನಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇಂಥ ಫ್ರಾಡ್ಗಳು ನಡೀತದೆ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಇವನ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ನೋ ಐಡಿಯಾ. Why I am speaking with such authenticity is because I have seen what happens to this country, how the enemies are working against us. You will not even know it. When I investigated this case, I was having a shock of my life. I'll tell you what happened in this. This is basically a international NGO which is having existence in 55 countries. Greenpeace India Society. Just see the way they are having existence in 55 countries. And what is their job? They will project themselves saying that we are working for greenery, environment, ozone layer, we are against deforestation, we are against pollution. This is their agenda, what they project. But actually, what they used to do is they used to recruit people with the salary of 50,000 to 8 to 10 lakhs per month. All young engineers, law graduates, and they used to always train them as if they are really working for the world at large. But the fact would be that they are working against the countries like India. How is that? Wherever there is development activities happening, for example, say solar plant being established in say 500 acres, 1000 acres. This country has to have power, right? So when we want to have a solar power, when we want to have wind power, these Greenpeace NGO used to come there and say, no, we don't want solar power, we want greenery. We want environment to be in place. We want the ozone layer to be in place. It will be hazardous to the human mankind if you do deforestation, if you use this place for solar. And they have to object. They have to come and do a strike over there to see that they don't develop. The ultimate agenda within is to see that the country doesn't grow. And who is to pay the salaries? From foreign countries, Europe, America, Asian countries. The money used to come from Germany to fund these people, students. And this is not known to the people who are employees of that organization. It is only a hidden agenda by the Germans, Americans, to see that this country doesn't grow. Since we have diversified lifestyle, all different type of religion, some people get carried away by this and the development gets hampered. See, even after 75, 80 years of this independence, we have not been able to grow to the extent because of such organizations which are working against us. And we have been trapped. Even I have paid some money. You see, these people come with a small box at the traffic signals. Sir, please work for Greenpeace. We are working for the environment. We are planting trees. We are doing this, that. They say. But ultimately, this is only a showcase. Even the person who is collecting the money will not know it. The hidden agenda is that Germans doesn't want this country to grow. We want to be on their dependency. Similarly, this Amnesty International, one of the most dangerous organizations. What they do is, they say we are working for widows who have been killed in the Jammu Kashmir war, who have been the victim of the military operations. They conduct a big show in Indiranagar in a club saying that these are the children of the victims of the army. But the fact is, they want to see that more money comes from the other world and this country doesn't go. They want to keep the Jammu Kashmir issue alive. This is a hidden agenda. So these two cases, since I have personally interrogated, I have just told you in brief. Since we are running out of time, this is the final chapter which I already discussed. Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. I think you are aware. I'll just say, ask you three questions. Which are the three requisites to invoke this act? Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Finally, I would just tell you a bit about Hawala. What is Hawala? Since this was not included in my chapter, but still I have included those two acts and this Hawala. See, what is Hawala, how it works, you should understand. Basically, Hawala is money transaction. And these Hawala transactions do not happen with the banking channels. It happens parallelly without a banking channel. Okay. And how it happens? This is a self-explanatory statement. Suppose there is one sender, there is one person in India, okay. She wants to send money to her brother in America. Okay. she doesn't have a bank account or she doesn't want to send it through bank account. Maybe it is a money which is not accounted. So what she will do, she will approach a person within India and say, there are Hawala organizations, companies, institutions, small units, big units. They do transactions worth thousands and lakhs of crores in a day. What she will do, she will contact somebody in Chickpet, MG Road, somebody, and she says that I want to transfer $100 to my brother who is working in America. It's an urgent. So she will approach one Hawala transactor here in Chickpet, and this man calls his counterpart in US, says, because he has counterparts in various parts, he says, you give this money to him and we will have an understanding, we will do our transaction subsequently. Or they have their own accounts, plus and minus. So she will approach this person in Chickpet, this man will approach somebody in America, he will tell on 4 and this man will pay 10,000. She will pay him and this man will pay. As simple as it. It happens in India a lot. If somebody has to transfer money from Mumbai to Bangalore, and suppose, because especially during elections, you know how much of money is spent. Each MLA in Karnataka today will spend not less than 25 crores per election, minimum. There have been instances somebody has spent more than 200 crores, and even the 200 crores has been crossed in Chenpatna this time. Each candidate will spend more than 200 crores. And do you think all this is by check? No, it's only by cash. They would have parked their money elsewhere. They'll get through Hawala, distribute to various people, to the people. Some candidates have paid 5,000 rupees per vote. So this is the Hawala transactions. Is that clear? So these are the few cases which I have investigated. I was talking about Sukesh Chandrasekhar. This is Michael Floyd Ishwar, that property which has been attached. Okay. This is Kranti Veera Sangoli Rayana Appu. This is Subramanya, who had started a company, what you call, in Tamil Nadu. I was in CBI investigated that case. That is Jaime Gold case. Okay. And these are fugitive economic offenders. Nirav Modi, Choksi, Vijay Mallya, Dalit Modi. So these are a few cases. With this, I think I will conclude. I hope I have been able to do some justice for 2 hours. If there are any questions, you can ask. Hmm. Hmm. I have not faced any threat. I have not faced any threat. There is one small saying, Harshad Mehta used to say. Remember which dialogue? What used to say Harshad Mehta? Risk hai to? Risk hai to? Risk. If there is no thrill, no life. I have interrogated more than 9 MLAs, 2 ex-CMs, arrested 2 of them in my case. There is no threat. No need. Yes. Criminals are always scared. They are more scared than us. We feel they are big don. When I was interested in some cases of IMA, recently 2 ex-CM's case, I got a lot of messages from my close, near and dear ones. Case ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ ನಿನ್ನ ತಲೆ ಬಿಡಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಭಾಳ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಏನು See, court has to be convinced. They can keep him behind bars for a certain period. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ, that ED case is well established. But predicate offense ಅಲ್ಲಿ they are not even charged that minister. Scheduled offense ಅಲ್ಲಿ FIR ದಾಗ ಹೆಸರು ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ, charge sheet ದಾಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. This is a difference between the state and central. That fellow's name is not there in the FIR of the state police. Whereas ED has interact. Huh? Yaru. ED once an here the trigger is enough. Just an FIR is enough. Or related ಯಾರ ಮ್ಯಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಗೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅವ್ರ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಕೇಸ್ಗೆ. He was a minister of that department. They called him, they asked him 100 questions. Who did this? Why they signed it? Why the money left without your consent? Whether you approved, how you approved. Anything else? True. See, frankly speaking, with my 30 years and 6 months of service, I've been always taking challenges in my life. Joined as police as a sub inspector, but I've worked in various organizations with a lot of challenges. Coming from a very moderate, very rural background, where my parents have never gone to school. My parents used to even put a thumb impression for all the checks and documents. With that background, having worked with CBI, ED, IB, State Police, SIT, ACB, Lokayukta, if you are determined, nothing can stop you. Okay. And if you are always scared, you will be always scared forever. Okay. Go ahead and you do what your passion says, what you feel like doing. Okay. And you'll enjoy doing it. But just because somebody says and you go away from that, it doesn't show any responsibility. For example, as I told you last few months back, I was interested in the case of two ex-CMs of Karnataka. I said, I'll take it as a challenge. And they just don't give it to me like that. Seeing my background, they say, only you can handle it, please handle it. And if I also raise my hands and say, I cannot do it, sir, I don't want to do it, that shows my incompetency. So I did it. So that is how you have to take challenge. If you are joining some organization, like, if you are going to prepare for UPSC, you better be prepared to do something different. Just like any other job, why you want to go and serve a department with sad salary? You can earn more than that here itself. You can do real estate, you can do business, you can earn hundreds of crores of rupees. Where throughout your service, you not earn 100 crores. So when you're joining some organizations like IAS, IPS, IRS, IFS, RAW, you have to go with determination, with commitment, with a goal. I joined police just not like that, like any other people. When I was in 7th standard, I decided to become a cop, though my parents are not educated. I went to a bookstall, one Navabharata bookstall in Belgaum, in Khade Bazaar. I said, I want sub-inspector guide. He looked at me like that. I was wearing a half pant, studying in a small school. Like, whom do you want this book here? Because those days, even the bookseller used to be so, acquainted with the customers, used to know their name, their background, ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕೆಳಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ ಚಡ್ಡಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಇವನು ಯಾರು ಇವ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಸಬ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೈಡು ಅಂತ ಸರ್ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ನನಗೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಏನು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾ 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿನಿ ಬೆಳಗಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಇದು ಈ ಸಬ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೈಡು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಗೊತ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಕೊಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ I paid 80 rupees and bought that sub inspector guide. I did not know about IAS, I did not know about IPS, I did not know anything. I was influenced by the Hindi movies that I used to see to become a cop. And I used to see nothing other than becoming a cop. Maybe people like you, if somebody had told me that IPS is a better post than a sub inspector, maybe I would have tried. I didn't know. I got a sub inspector guide. Believe me, from 8th standard till my degree, whenever I used to get time, I used to go through that book. That was Central Police Organization Sub Inspector Guide, mainly conducted by Staff Selection Commission. Okay. When I used to get it. And after my degree, there was 2 years, there was no recruitment, 93 and 94. I joined law studies. When I was doing my law, then suddenly there's a call for me in the year 1994 for sub inspector of 160 post, and I was selected in the list, free of cost. And I did not stop there as a cop. I explored going to CBI. I explored going to ED. I used to see which is the best organization in India. Raw. I was selected in Raw 1 year back. Just because there was some constraint from my family, I didn't go to Northeast. Otherwise, today I would be in Raw. So, police is only a gateway for me. I worked in CBI, I worked in ED, I worked in IV, SIT, Lokayukta, ACB. These are all the other. This is how I work. So, there are wonders which you can do. And you are blessed to have such a beautiful infrastructure, and academy is upcoming. You will not only bring Lawrence to yourself, this organization will get good name, this institution will get good name. And today, you don't have to be studying in one of the top institutions. There are so many children who have not gone to any institution but cracked IAS and IPS. Right? Sitting at home, because I was just talking to sir that, sir, today, if my goal is clear, nobody can stop me. I don't have to go through any experts. I don't have to go to any institution. Everything is available at a fingertip. That also is available here. The people who have cracked, they will speak. Everything is available on internet. But only thing, you should not forget or deviate from your goal. It is as easy as it is. Those days we did not have anything. The first mobile I saw is in 2000. Anything else?
Anything else? So, very frequently used to say, have I given a justice for my cause? Like that. So, having an experience of 30 years in academic field, I have seen n number of officers who are coming to our to talk on various subjects. I would say in a single word that though you are a police officer, I would say you are a very good teacher. The way you talk, the way you very systematic. I hope all our students, all our friends, they gain a lot of knowledge. You are given a very good justice of this precious time, whatever the time that you are spent here. I discussed how they understand human beings. I discussed Anita's faculty come as friends of this organization. I request Anita to come here to say something about how you understand and how it is benefiting your exam.
Hello.
country to country. But to know that it actually comes a lot this country to country, but it also within India. It's not only a very big perspective, but whether it is a very small perspective, it is also involved in that which is called as money laundering. So money laundering is not only a concept related that only for the credit or maybe the income, it's actually related to our day-to-day life also. It is a concept where we have got a knowledge that if this is the thing, then money laundering is involved. It's not a concept that just a thing on a very big aspect. Whether it is a small vendor, a shop, small shop also. If a crime takes place over that, as I said, that source is crime. So if any crime is involved, it should not be based on very large scale. It can start from very small scale. So from a very small scale, when it goes to on a large scale. So from this, we have got to know today that money laundering is a small person society in this area also. He also, if he commits a crime related to any economic or financial aspect, then that will be termed as a money laundering because it is involved in the crime. And this previously money laundering as well said that this concept is involving many of the big people also and we understand aspects like the regulations are there for this. The government from the government side also how the industry started working for this. Elected directors as being that of the agency, which is the actual news agency which is working over this money laundering law. And there are different acts are there for this, which is involving money laundering and money laundering basically what I have understood is that if any family committed and from a bank also, suppose there is a bank, you take a loan from the bank and you're not able to repay back the loan for that. And that the bank, what is happening to that bank, if it is a very small scale, then that bank will be turned to be a bank side. And then whatever assets you are having, if you're not able to pay back the loan, then what is the illegal come take all your assets and all those assets it will sell it on the table. There is a company, this is a company telling that there is a calculation, this is the amount that will pay back to the company, that is the loan to the bank. So the bank should, because the bank is also liable to the other customers in serving that. So those customers also they should not come into a loss. Mostly in Punjab side also they see that most of the banks and all they have these things have happened. Where these big people like the Vijay Mallya, he took lots of loans from the bank and he flew away. But he didn't see that this loan is just not his what he has taken. It was the people's hard work earn money which they have put into it. So now he just flew away. But who is responsible now? It is the government which is responsible now. So the government what they did? The government had to see the people. So what is going to happen to people? They have put their hard work money. A farmer who is working so much hard is coming, is putting all the money there, and then you get to know that the bank is there. What will happen to him? He will go and suicide. Again, this is related to agriculture. Also, you can say the bank farmer suicide. You can say so. This can be one more reason. So the government meeting they come on this platform. They will tell that don't worry, we are here to protect you all from all these offences. And that is the reason they have got this PMLA Act. That is the Prevention of the Money Laundering Act. This is how the government is actually keeping our rights, our hard-earned money also as a protector they are standing for. So in the local area, actually, this is what I have understood that money laundering, what it is exactly. And thank you so much for explaining us this and giving your valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Navneet, what? Anybody? Yes. Introduce yourself. So my name is Mahesh, studying at Rayama BTech. According to this money laundering, what I said was like the big people who like they have done like small things, like 10 crores, 50 crores. All those people come under the police jurisdiction. But I have always had a doubt about big people like Vijay Mallya, everyone explore the country. What about them? But as per this third explanation, I got to know about the fugitive economic act. Because like a person who can explore the country can what back to the country and he can get money. So this one I feel like very in a simpler way I got personal loans like the bank, not only that, but FMLA also can benefit the common people because everyone is directly linked to the minority. Everyone, including if you take an economic perspective, economic going down, economic goes down, the vendors, the market, the rate of everything goes down, the consumers, investment goes down. The country is all down. And sir has explained with an example of money, sir. So the FMLA Act, I have got to know how strong the FMLA Act is. I was like, okay, fine, FMLA Act is an act, it's like normal act, is other act. But by seeing both the steps of it, I can understand that okay, it's a very powerful act which can get on any strong person. So this is what I have understood. Sir has also explained how it works, layers, integration, and there are other things also which I like to include and also everything comes under what has sir explained. So by this we can tackle the and I would like to suggest that the government, including AI, blockchain technology, all these things can also improve more in the national land. That is what I think. So, and to be frank, I didn't get a superiority complex. Generally, I get scared about the police officers. They will be in a autonomous position. When the third said that you guys think so, but I feel truly so much splendid. Sir, you want to become my IPS officer? Why do you want to become my IPS officer? Please let me know. Sir, actually, we are not the locals of the Bangalore. We came from Andhra Pradesh. So there was in my 800, our bike was stopped. It was a certificate. So we went to the police station, local police station. We were complaining about the police our bike has been taken. There was not even a 1% respect which was given to us. They were like, 5 years ready from you can go come tomorrow. For FIR, then my dad was to know the reason they are saying to come tomorrow was for bribe. So they want some money to register the FIR. So there was zero respect. And there was second case, like my mom's chain was stolen. The same thing happened for the second case. So after seeing all the evidence, the police department is working as for us, it is like below branch office for us,
Poor people.
poor people. For them, it will be more intensified. So I felt like, okay, I'll become an IPS officer, and at least in my jurisdiction, I shouldn't get this happen.
Good.
Very, very small information, but I feel that's my motive.
One trigger is enough.
Yes. Only for that. Very good.
Good luck.
You want to say something else? Yeah, please. Next. ಇವ್ರ ಅಕ್ಕ ಸರ್
Oh,
ಅಕ್ಕ ತಮ್ಮ ಇಬ್ರು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಯ್ತು
Really thankful for you to share a great knowledge about this. First and foremost, I was not aware of what is money laundering. When I was coming to the capital, I was not aware what is money laundering. He explained me in a very detailed way. I didn't need to understand. But after your speech, I've got to know many things about money laundering and how indirectly we citizens being are indirectly connected to those. And also, main thing is that I always used to do these kind of things are every time going on. What government is doing every time cases of nothing government is doing. But what is after seeing your chat, I understood there are many people doing a lot of hard work behind every case. And very late I realized like what the government is doing for us. And also I've understood that how illegal things are taking place in India and what are the measures the government is taking and I didn't understand like the importance of the government. And it also truly inspired me now that yes, not only 5 years I feel officer, how is I directly or indirectly help the people or in order to eradicate this kind of problems in our society. And truly thankful for the Savita to share the great knowledge to us. Thank you.
Thank you. So, as you rightly said, okay, ಸರಿ ಅನ್ನೋವ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡು ಬಾಪ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಫೆಲೋ ಸರ್ ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಬಾಗಲ್ಕೋಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಗಂಡ ಗಂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ನಿಮ್ಮಂತ ನಿಷ್ಠಾವಂತ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್